watching, let us stand to our feet.
Stand up for your right.
With the honor that this man deserves.
Stand up, stand up.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Malcolm X speaking down the street, and Allah bless me, 76 years old now, and I was telling everybody at the time I would never live to be 20.
Where you was at? That's you
Right there, on 14th
Wow.
and Lenox Avenue, Malcolm speaking right there. And what I do, I show this to many of our people to show how long I've been in the struggle so that y'all can live.
So you can share something with him about,
Oh, yeah.
you know, why it's been around so long. I feel good.
Oh yeah.
Seeing that picture right there, what was that time like? What was that feel like? What was that,
Brother,
you know?
altogether different, because our people needed somebody to bring them together. And the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, every other person was a Muslim in the Nation of Islam in Harlem. And the atmosphere was, you have our people that was for integration, that would not protect themselves. The enemy knew we would protect ourselves, so they wasn't about to be. And the few times that they did attack us, Allah blessed us with victory. We never started any trouble, but we never ran from any trouble. And we just hollered, Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest, and we went crazy, went to war. I say all that to say we got great respect from the black people and from the enemies, what have you. And the atmosphere at the time was so charged with everybody belonged to a black something. Black integration movement, Black Panther movement, Black Muslim movement, black something at the time. So our children now, I feel, has been really bamboozled, as Malcolm X used to say. White folks are slipping them into them pink sneakers, them orange sneakers that you can see a mile away, and you get their shirt to match it, and they don't realize what's being done to them. And instead of becoming masculine, they're becoming feminine. And it's a big plan, and our young people cannot, and you got older black people now. Somebody convinced us that it's cool to wear sweatsuits, sweatpants, gym pants and things 24 hours a day, and sneakers. You got black men that don't know nothing about a pair of shoes no more. Nothing about a shirt, a dress shirt, and what have you. In the culture, we really went all the way down, brother. And Mr. Farrakhan, you all know that, is the only one that's left. The only one that's left, still with this message, brother, to wake our people up.
When you look at how times have changed and where we're at now and everything like that, people will say, you know, there's progression now, you know, there's more everything, you know, but have you really seen any progression?
Where I live at in Brooklyn, and I'm from Harlem, where I live at in Brooklyn, I had some young black boys telling the other ones, man, yeah, you gotta come down to this club tonight, and the white girls are there too. I said, brothers, I said, them white girls will get y'all killed. I said, they get you killed. I said, you think we're making progress? I remember years ago, there was not hardly any black anything on TV, hardly in the movies. Now you see an advertisement, a black woman, a half-white child, and the husband's a white man. The advertisement, they're in bed together, they're doing everything together. And our people who don't know no better, who don't know what we went through, the struggle that we went through and what have you, they think that this is progress. Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, he said that the time will come when a white man will use his last trick. He says his last trick is his daughter. And his sons also. And we think that this is progress because of the deadness that's in our mind. We think going along with the scriptures said, what the sons of the devil. Our people married on to the sons of the devil. We think that was progress, that's progress. And we didn't even know that this man, look what God is doing to America and America's interests on the islands and everything. It destroyed. One white woman said on the news the other day, she said, this is like Armageddon. She can't say that as a news person. They're saying that this is biblical. They can't say this as a news person. But they have to admit, Mr. Farrakhan said it's going to increase, it's going to increase, it's going to even get worse. He said that Allah told me, Elijah Muhammad, Allah in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, he said earthquakes will come which will destroy whole cities. And by the way, I also was James Brown's personal photographer.
Oh, wow.
You get the Goodfoot album and say photos James Spencer.
Whoa.
That's me.
Your history runs.
Yeah, matter of fact, I got it on my phone. I got Muhammad Ali. Every time he come to Harlem, I used to travel with Ali. Every time you come to New York, Sugar Ray Robinson, and because like I said, I'm 76 years old.
Man, you don't look a day over 50,
well,
brother.
Right. Hey, look, it's still trained the men.
Okay. Now, Elder, may I ask?
You should have said not a day over 40. We're
Okay.
going.
Okay. Now,
Still got
may
some
I,
wisdom.
I see how much this has done for you and
Yes,
how much
sir.
life the message from the nation has given. May I ask a sensitive question? Now, is it true that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's son is currently married to a European?
I heard that said, and I saw a thing, but I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Because
But I will say this though, if he has any intimate contact with a European, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that some white folks will see the hereafter. In other words, if some good, you do good, you be blessed for it. By nature, we know the weaknesses that's in them and what have you, but we watch them very close. But if his son is married to a European, I was told, I saw on this video that she had helped him out in some drug program before he came to the nation. That's possible.
interesting.
That's possible.
So she may have led him to the nation. You say?
Well, he might, she might have at a time of his weakness. And all that is possible too. But Elijah Muhammad says that some Caucasians will see the hereafter.
Okay. And thank you for answering because the larger public.
And I wrote a book, and I had it published 3 or 4 times. Salam alaikum, soldier, showing you how. I'm sorry, brother. This is my brother here.
This is the brother that brought me into the mosque.
Oh
Yeah.
man!
After 365 days of inviting me out,
Years,
that 364th day, that 365th day,
Yes,
he
right.
talked to me like black men have to talk to black men.
And who do you represent?
And
also,
he
the
let
ambulance
me,
corps?
he made me an offer I could not refuse. And praise be to Allah, I've been here since. But I represent the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Excellent.
Teacher, brother. See you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
But look, the book that I had wrote, it was called If You Like Malcolm X, You Love Mr. Farrakhan. I write in there how I know that Brother Thomas and Brother Norman could not humanly have killed Malcolm X. You know, Malcolm X's daughter said the other day that only one of the men convicted in my father's assassination was actually guilty of the assassination. She did the same studies that I did, but I was closer. I knew that Brother Thomas and Brother, right where I was at, what I was doing, how it was humanly impossible for these 2 brothers that killed Malcolm X. One brother was in the Bronx. I talked to him on the phone, called him back. The other brother couldn't even walk. And they claimed that he shot Malcolm, outran everybody from the stage down the street. A crowd of, what was it say, about 350 people. Nobody could catch this crippled man. He wasn't there. I was calling all the radio stations for years telling this account and whatnot. But now his daughter, she's saying the same thing. Now, she exonerated the Muslim. She said, when J. Edgar Hoover said we must do something about this Malcolm X, she said, what did he mean? Do with my father? Kill my father? What happened? So his daughter Ilyasa, you can get that on the internet. But that's the trick that they played on us. Put us against each other, and we are arguing in the public. That's why Mr. Farrakhan said, you say what you want to say against him. He would never argue with you in the public again, because they would kill them and blame him. He said, say whatever you want to say against me. Tell us, don't fight him. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Bless your heart. Other sisters from Brooklyn, the family. Assalamu alaikum. Oh yeah. So I've been around, all I do is fish and bring people to hear these teachings.
Brother, I was listening to Gil Noble speaking on when he first heard of Malcolm, and when he heard of all the things that Malcolm had to do, like with the disciplines and not drinking, not smoking.
Yes,
He's like,
sir.
I don't know if I can rock with this.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get brothers to leave?
Come. It's my daughter,
Oh,
Tenyetta. She was born in the Nation of Islam. This is my baby daughter. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, I was wondering, did you make it here?
Was she the one they sent the photo to you?
You sent a picture of me selling the Muhammad speech when I was 19.
Yes.
We just looked at it.
Really? Whoa.
Okay.
Praise to Allah. She's a little bit on the side. So she got to get online.
and the question was about discipline. How do you get the brothers to actually, get that in their mind to actually follow those
The
disciplines?
teachings for one thing.
Okay.
When I was when I met Malcolm X, I used to be going 115th Street to get my reefer. That place was 160. As a matter of fact, in the fashion industries, they call me reefer brain. That is true. That's all I did was reefer. And I carried one gun here. I carried one gun here.
Oh, man.
Not that I was not a gangbanger, but I saw gangs doing things to people, and I just carried a gun 24 hours a day, and I just had my radio listening to Symphony Sis, some jazz, and my sunglasses, and some reefer. And leave me alone. I did not bother anybody. Everybody in the East Side and Harlem would tell you I'm one of their best. I was not a stick-up man, but leave me and my people, my friends alone. I said that, and it was easy. I could never believe that I could stop smoking herbs. Every time somebody would talk against smoking reefer, I would stand there, I would defend reefer smoking for the next hour, 2 or 3 hours. But I stopped in one day. I went one Wednesday, all right, let me tell you this here. When I was going to get my herb, I saw Malcolm come out the restaurant with these people around him. Of course, I didn't know who he was. And he shook my hand. He said, why don't you come around the corner and hear me speak? I said, hear you speak? I said, man, what the I want to come and hear you speak for? And the brothers with him did like this here. And he said, oh, brother, leave him alone. If he knew better, he would do better. Then we got on a handshaking basis. And one Wednesday night, Allah, God sent me to the mosque. And brother, I've been there ever since 1960. Malcolm was teaching, I was jumping up, and he laughed. He said, you gonna get your chance to join? I've been there ever since. I stopped reefer smoking the same day. None of my friends in Harlem believed that. They tried me, they believed. I smoked cigarettes from 11 until to 19 years, yeah, until 19.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, and Johnny Walker Red, Smirnoff Rocker, that was my thing. And vodka with orange. Oh yeah, and stop in one day. For me.
Yeah.
Other brothers might have problems, but I know that we have a record, and the preachers and all the enemies admit it got the people off of heroin, men and women.
Exactly.
Now, if this teaching got you off of heroin, brother, that's some strong stuff.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's program was known to reform hardcore addicts and make them stand up strong black men. But now you were there during the most tumultuous times of the division between Malcolm X and Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How did that affect you emotionally, and how was your loyalty tested at that time?
Well, I said, which I find out now is still true, if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had children, but let me say this anyway, Malcolm X worded it in such a way, such an ugly, nasty way. Because like you said, how are you going to leave the Nation of Islam and go join what you call Orthodox Islam when the Prophet Muhammad himself had about 14 wives easy? Because Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you said, took on, he was sweethearting with it. Malcolm was upset because he was set down publicly. He wasn't put out of the nation. Manhattan Center. I was standing right now when Kennedy was killed. Our people loved Kennedy and Jesus. That's what they have on their wall. Not even their own mothers and fathers sometimes, and they'll tell you. Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent us directives that he said that when I heard of the death of our president, I was shocked and grieved. He said so. Malcolm kept us there from 8 o'clock that night to about 1 o'clock the next morning, telling us what the penalty would be if we go out there and say something about Kennedy. So he went down Manhattan Center, and I'm standing on post for him. He's saying, oh, a case of the Kennedy being killed is just a case of the chickens coming back home to roost. But the part that you never heard, which is in his book, he said, but me being a farm boy, chickens coming home to roost never did make me feel bad. They made me feel rather glad. And he smiled. In other words, hooray, hooray, the president is dead. When that got to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and we was getting threats, I was always on the telephone post, white men calling in, saying, you're laughing at our president's death. He said, we're going to give y'all something to think about. He was killed in public. We're going to give y'all something to think about. Your leader being killed. Anyway, Malcolm was simply told to keep quiet for 90 days. The whole world was in a 90-day mourning period for Kennedy. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was supposed to speak at Manhattan Center. He said he wouldn't do it. Malcolm said, let me go speak because we already spent all this money. We put out all this radio time, blah, blah, blah. Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him. He said, yes, you can go speak. He said, but remember, no mention of the president's assassination. And when that newsman, I think his name was Handler, he asked Malcolm that question at the end of the meeting. That's when Malcolm took off and got happy. Now, if we agree with what Malcolm X said, you know we'd be fighting and killing black people and they'd be killing us. They asked us, what you think about Malcolm X's statement about the president? I said, we don't agree with it. If you represent a nation, you got to say the values and the heartbeat of your nation. Do y'all remember what got Khrushchev put out of office in Russia?
No,
Soviet Union, as bad and tough, a bad man he was. When you got in the United Nations and pulled his shoe off and started beating and told Kennedy, we will bury you, he was gone the next week.
Wow.
You can't act like that. If you don't agree with that, when Elijah Muhammad said that I was shocked and grieved when I heard of that, you don't agree with that, then you step aside then. You're not the one to speak on that then. You can't speak your own opinion and have us fighting all over this country and getting killed because you were upset Malcolm X. Because you were set down publicly. He made the statement publicly, so Elijah Muhammad set him down publicly. If he did it quietly, it would have been a different story. But if he had to answer this, and he didn't put him out. His book even tell you, he's not out of the Nation of Islam. Yes, no, just from speaking. Just from speaking. And he said in his book, I'm leaving the Nation of Islam on my own. He said, I feel I can be more effective amongst the grassroots. I thought this was a thing between him and Elijah Muhammad to go out there and bring the people in. And Malcolm was totally, I found out Elijah Muhammad was sweethearting with his teenage secretary, and Elijah Muhammad took on wives. Mr. Farrakhan brought their wives, his wives out publicly in front of the world, one of our Savior's Day, and y'all can get that DVD if you already don't have it. Let each one of them speak their mind. Was Elijah Muhammad an immoral man? Was he just a bad freak or beast, or whatever it could be? And they all spoke, and they brought all the children out from him also. And I knew right away if Elijah Muhammad had taken on wives, and I know the reason why. Right now, none of Elijah Muhammad's original children is helping Mr. Farrakhan in this struggle. But all of them that he had from his wives, like Ismail Muhammad, who is Minister Farrakhan's assistant. Farrakhan putting these young men up there. He ain't doing like in church. The guys holding on to for 100 and 200 years trying to hold their post so nobody coming. Young people don't come and take it. Elijah Muhammad bless Mr. Farrakhan, and Allah is blessing them with this kind of knowledge. Put these young people out there. These are children that Elijah Muhammad had. And I know that's the reason he had to take on these wives. He was a wise enough man.
I'm from Harlem, and
I am too. I'm from 122nd.
Oh my goodness.
Between Park and Madison.
Well, but the years you have on me, I'm 52. So
yes, sir.
I've sat at the feet of some elders that have walked through Harlem. Another story, and I don't know if it's folklore, but maybe you can shed light. We're going to allow the ambulance to pass.
Yes, sir.
And these were, when I heard, these were men in their 80s.
Yes, sir.
And they gave an account that they said, and please, you can just dispel it, even dismiss it if you don't think it has any validity.
I've been around long enough that none of that stuff run me or hurt me.
Excellent, thank you, Elder. It was said that Betty Shabazz was not Malcolm X's first choice as a wife.
And that I heard some stuff I read some stuff like that.
That he had another
Khalid has said that.
Had another sister that he was
ready
marrying, that he took to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for his approval. And it's been said again, folklore that.
But that's all I heard was folklore too.
Okay. So there's no way. Well, let's just finish.
There's a lot of stuff that came
out because they said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did not approve her. I think because they both were very fair-skinned, and he had said, well, to put that before the people, we need you to have a system more of the ilk of our masses. So, but later it was said that the young lady that he brought, that he was interested in marrying, became one of the secretaries.
But it still could have been possible that Elijah Muhammad might have said that, and might have said it for that reason. Right. It could have been true.
And she became a secretary.
But I'm saying we don't know who it is that put that out. And also, me and Clarence 13 next was like this here too. Who started the 5%ers.
Wow.
Oh yeah, my first wife, my wife used to babysit his children. His wife's sister Dora used to babysit my children.
Crazy.
I lived on 113th and 5th Avenue. Well, Allah sent me, brother.
Yes,
Allah sent me. You know what I'm saying? And his wife used to babysit our children and whatnot. So there's a lot of things. If I had time, it would come back to me. I can tell you. I mean, put some real jewels on. You know what? Let me say this too while you're here. I'm like a soldier. If you get Sister Ava Muhammad's DVD that she did in Save the Day, I think, no, it wasn't Save the Day. Well, anyway, it was in 2014. It was called Blasphemy, and something else, and whatnot. But anyway, she showed the 1,500 bombing planes.
And we know you have to run, but please give us the most important things that we need to know before you leave. You've shared such a wealth of information and history that many don't know. So in closing, your closing moments, leave us with the most pertinent thing we need to know about the nation and also about Farrakhan.
Now you heard about the mother plane that we speak of, with the 1,500. Well, it's called mother plane, but it 1,500 bombing planes on it.
I have heard that.
On that DVD. Sister Ava showed with the scientists who took this picture, all 1,500 of the baby planes, which you all call the UFOs, on it. And we're going to show this at the mosque next Sunday, no doubt, when we get back to New York.
In New York?
Again, yes.
Mosque number 7?
Yes, 7C in Brooklyn.
I got to get there.
In Brooklyn.
Okay. So how can people contact you? Do you have a social media presence for those who want to get more information from you?
I don't know.
Come to
I
your
don't like to be
mosque.
bothered. But,
Oh.
well, come to the mosque and ask for James 15. That's me. I'm there every Sunday.
Okay.
Every Sunday, be outside, just taking people upstairs. Just taking people upstairs.
And knowledge, God.
I just want to say, brother, for me, I appreciate the information. The history was really interesting for me, and just knowing that you walk with these people that we look up to, and they're pioneers.
There's a lot of them, brother.
Like, you know,
James Brown, I got some stories to tell too. Y'all have any cards?
Yes, I have a card right here.
Hate to say it like this in case y'all do something dumb. We know where to look for y'all at.
oh,
And
man.
I got a picture of that.
No, I'm gonna. It's you.
Trace me real fast. That's me on that side.
All right. You want a naked brother.
And if
Hey,
you could
look, I've been a photographer.
Okay.
I know what y'all do, brother.
If you could say your name one more time, brother.
Brother James Muhammad.
15X, correct?
James, yes.
Thank you again, brother, for your time. We appreciate you on Care Life Production.
All right.